Hari Om, and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's contemplation on Aparoksha Anubbhti. So we've been contemplating based on Sri Prabhuji's talks, and we are on day 4 talks. And right now, we have completed about 6 questions related to that. Today, we will take up from 7th question onwards. Avidya, or ignorance of the self. Is Avidya known? And if you want, you can also take up question 8 and 9 also together. What are the byproducts of Avidya? And what is the solution to Avidya? So let's contemplate on this question today to begin with. Shall we begin with you, Deepaji?
What's the question, sir?
Question number 7. Is Avidya, ignorance of the self, known? What are the byproducts of Avidya? What is the solution to Avidya? So first you begin with, is it known? Is Avidya known?
No, sir. Ignorance is not known. Humans think that they know everything, but there is ignorance.
So then how does one become aware of the ignorance? Or speak from your, if you speak from your personal experience, how the journey has been? What was not known, and what have you come to know? And how did you come to know?
I didn't know that I am the soul, and because I didn't believe in it, then when I was suffering, I was getting a question in my mind: why am I suffering? And that itself led me to have faith in this. I mean, there's something beyond, and that made me come into this.
Yeah, but how did you come to know about the avidya, about the ignorance of the self? So you said you didn't know and they were suffering. So did suffering lead you to know that, ignorance is there? What happened? Can you go into details? And how did it happen? Am I
Suffering?
audible?
Yes, sir. What's the question? Did suffering?
So you said you were suffering, and that suffering led you to a question of, there must be something beyond. But the question I am asking you is avidya, specifically ignorance of your own true self. How did you come to know? And can you give in details what happened? Is the question clear or not clear?
It's clear, sir.
Yeah.
The conditioning, actually, the mental conditioning itself had made me think in a certain way that if something that I like would happen, I would be happy. Else, I wouldn't be happy. So that was making me suffer. Uh, and now there's acceptance to whatever happens.
Okay.
I didn't know to accept whatever was happening.
Mm.
Uh,
What
was
has
not
that
ready.
to do with what has that got to do with avidya? See, here the question is particularly to ignorance of the self. So the question is more like, okay, did you know about this particular model of the mobile? And you are saying, no, I did not know. And the question is, how did you come to know?
Mm,
What you are explaining is more of, okay, so when I started the journey, I used to not accept all situations. I started accepting. Correct. That's all correct. But the question is more particularly with respect to avidya, ignorance of the self. Is it correct that avidya is known, ignorance of the self? Would it be right if I say that your suffering itself was nothing but avidya? So in that way, you knew your suffering.
yeah, the nature of the self is to be blissful, but when I'm going against it, I wouldn't be happy. So when there is acceptance, everything would be easy. There wouldn't be any kind of uh, confusions in the mind when we accept the situations. And acceptance itself is the nature of the self. And when I was trying to go uh, against it, I was feeling that I was suffering. So that itself was the ignorance.
All right. Anything more you would like to say? Is there anything that you would like to say on 8 and 9 also? Byproducts of avidya, solution to avidya, or whatever you said, is it inclusive of these two also?
Suffering is a byproduct of avidya.
Okay.
Solution to avidya uh, is a path of spirituality itself.
Okay. Is there anything more you would like to say?
No, sir.
Thank you, Deepaji.
Thank you, sir.
Shailajaji, would you like to share your view on these three questions?
Yes, sir. I would like. So before that, I just just curious to know how these questions are framed, sir.
So, if you listen to the talk,
Okay.
Prabhuji explains various truths.
Okay.
Rather than asking, okay, explain section 1 of the talk,
Uh-huh.
we identified that if we frame it in series of questions,
Okay.
contemplation becomes a lot more deeper.
Yeah, that's what I actually, it made me to understand the things very in a better way. That's why I wanted to check this. It's very interesting, all these questions.
Yeah. So therefore, what we started doing is we would frame the questions, and we would either using the question, listen to the talk, or after listening to the talk, look at the question. And it is like whether the question can be answered without necessarily having to refer to the talk in by connecting to our own experience. So that way, manana becomes, or the contemplation becomes uh, interesting and also valuable.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Yeah.
So, I will start with the question number 7.
Yes.
Is avidya, ignorance of self, is known? It was known, sir, before joining Prabhuji's classes. Actually, I was ignorant of the self. I made, because of this, I made lot many mistakes. I realized after joining the class that I had ego. I accept that, and more of materialistic, and such qualities were there in me. And after joining the class, Bhagavad Gita classes, I realized that I have all these things within me, and how to conquer these qualities only after joining these classes. And I even, along with this question, I would like to take the question number 8, the byproducts. The byproducts for avidya, what we came across in Ramayana, that is what Ravana had. All those qualities were there in me, and now I'm in the path of I'm not a pure right now, but I'm in the path of conquering all those qualities, that is ignorance of self. But definitely there is a purification happening within me right now. So I can make out those changes within me. That's what my understanding is. And what is the solution to avidya is, as per my understanding, since from the time I joined these classes, only Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is the solution for this avidya. I understand from this. That's what.
Very nice. So you mentioned that you were aware of ignorance.
Yes.
So isn't it that, once when you're aware of something that I don't know, then naturally the right understanding, or at least the journey towards getting the right understanding happens, in which case you're essentially saying that you or anyone else already knows that they're ignorant of the self. Is that what you are trying to say? That ignorance is
Actually,
known to everyone?
no, sir. Because of those ignorance, they are making lot many blunders. That is a prarabdha karma, and they are taking forward with because of this, that ignorance, I think, sir. And cleansing won't
But the
happen.
question here is, Shailaja ji, okay, let me put the question in a slightly different analogy. Imagine, somebody is coughing continuously. If, let's say, the coughing is because every day morning, let's say they wake up and they smoke cigarette, and they're totally unaware that, it is my smoking the cigarette that is causing the cough, they will continue to smoke the cigarette. So, they didn't know that, the coughing is because of the smoking of the cigarette. So now the question is, similarly, is smoking equivalent of, let's say, avidya? Is it known? Is it known to someone, who is coughing? In this case, coughing is equivalent of, let's say, suffering. Is the question clear, Shailajaji?
Yes, sir. But it is sometimes even after knowing, I think they will continue to do the mistake because they are got addicted to that particular thing, and it once for all, it is difficult for them to live. Maybe they are, if they accept it, that ego, if they keep it aside and they want to accept it and purify themselves, maybe it is possible, or else they don't want to accept it, maybe they will suffering will continue, I think, sir.
Okay. So in terms of the question, or specifically to the question, is avidya known? Your answer?
Partially,
Partially.
sir.
Partially. Okay, that's how you see as of now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Thank you, Shailajaji.
Thank you.
Shubhaji, what is your viewpoint?
Yes, sir. Avidya never came into existence. Just like darkness just means absence of light, avidya is nothing but absence of knowledge. So it is not knowing oneself is what I feel is avidya. We keep constantly thinking that we are this body and mind, but fail to understand that we are beyond this body and mind. If I take my case, before attending all these classes, I was constantly suffering and taking everything so sensitively to what people would comment and what people would say or what people would do to me, because I was always under the impression that I am this body, mind, and intellect. But after attending these classes and after realizing that I am not this body, mind, intellect, but pure consciousness, slowly I started realizing that all this suffering is only because of my ignorance of self. So, and one more thing, what I understood is this knowledge would help me only if I apply it, not just take it like, okay, this is just a knowledge. But because at the end of the day, when I started applying it, that is when I started realizing the true nature of the self. So we don't know when ignorance started, but we know when we can end the ignorance. The end of ignorance can come with the knowledge of the self. So the solution to avidya is nothing but to know who I am. That is the brief answer to these questions, sir.
Very nice. Thank you, Shubhaji.
Thank you, sir.
Saravanji, what is your viewpoint?
Was I aware of avidya? No. Almost till 43 years. And it took some climbing many floors, and then looking at going nowhere, started asking people like, where is this going? Where am I going? And then like finally like I hit that that's road sign called Vijayji. I troubled him for for 10 minutes. He kept answering. Then he said, like, you know what? After answering for 30 minutes, he said, okay, why don't you come and join this session? Maybe you'll get more answers. That's the first time I came to know that there is this Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita. But surprisingly, all the while, my grandfather was running this Vedanta Shravananda ashram. To me, it was like he was doing something. And it never occurred to me to figure out what was he doing. And his routine every day was to get up and start reading the same book again and again. He had a list of books and like he will get up and he will read them again and again. So Avidya was not known, and the byproduct was definitely how much you can get intoxicated by this whatever the world is giving. Looks like it's giving something, and you keep taking, and it never satisfies you. And yeah, for me, it was like want to get more marks, go to bigger college, go to the best company, and like go there, keep growing, whether was it money or title, I don't know, just keep growing, right? So the byproducts are like confusion, and that confusion led to, in the 40s, led to some health problems, right? Something or other, the body will complain and go to the doctor, will say, oh, you are from IT, right? This is normal for you. If you don't have this, then like you are not working well, right? And that made me question, like, something cannot come at the loss of something else, right? I cannot do well at work by messing up my health, or like spoiling the relationship at home, right? You cannot get upset at home and shout at kids, right? So those are the byproducts, right? Confusion, suffering, and obviously the solution. First solution is to question whether you want to continue with this suffering or you want to put an end to this suffering. And that's, I guess, the first step. Second step is like you go listen and you get this vidya that yes, you don't know who you are, and here is it, right? And that is the solution to avidya is vidya, knowledge. And the last thing is, as Shubhaji said, I get the knowledge, am I able to apply it? It's very easy that you put a finger in the fire, you will never do it again. That knowledge is like, that's it, right? While there are a lot of other knowledge, like smoking is injurious to health. They tell repeatedly, they put a scary picture on the box. People still go and buy it. And people still go and drink more and more and spoil, right? So there is this gap between this knowledge and then like how do I stick to it? I really want to get out of it. And so that's the solution. So here is, I just want to add a small, like I'll take just 2 minutes of what I spoke in Jnana Jyoti for my Srishti Pravesha, right? So I was asked to develop a prakriya, right? So this is how I explained. Brahman, to start with, Brahman was alone there. And Brahman wanted to experience himself, right? And so the creator created, right? And you create, it's an object. He created out of his own. And when you create something, it's an object. The object cannot experience. It's like I look at, let's say, a doctor. If I want to experience how a doctor's life is, I cannot experience from outside. So I have to I have to play the role of the doctor first, like to see it. So I take this costume of body, mind, right? In case of doctor, I put the costume to experience, right? But then even when I wear a costume, if I have the knowledge of who I am, or if I don't completely become the doctor, I will not be able to experience. So I need to forget who I am to experience. So this creator put this mind, where like forgets who he is. Okay, now you get this body mind. Now you have to figure out the game starts, right? And then like you need something to learn also, right? To go the mind was given the same capability to also learn. You'll learn. But then like experiencing his own creation, if he enjoys, then like how will he realize who he is? So you have to give some key, right? Something to push this guy. So there gave the suffering. So there will be some suffering. That suffering should lead you to know what, hey, what is going on here. I should figure out something wrong, right? Then that suffering pushes that jiva to start questioning, and then like from there like he realizes, okay, I was the one, and I only created all these things just to have fun, and like I have, and like when once they realize it, fine, right. So that's how the Srishti happened, and like the same Brahman alone himself entered his creation and experienced, and then like realized, right? That's how I came up with. I realized this whole creation thing, and that's how I see it. That I am that, and if I am enjoying, if I am still enjoying, I will continue to do this crazy thing until like I say that, you know what, this is it, done, right? I don't want this small enjoyments anymore. Enough of suffering. Let me put an end to the suffering, and let me be that what my real nature. Okay, so that's how I would say you start from avidya to vidya to becoming again back home. Yeah.
So that excellent, Sarananji. Very nice. So in one sense, you are saying avidya was known. It may not have been known as the avidya, but at least you knew suffering, and suffering is connected to avidya only, no?
Okay. Avidya of the real nature was not known. So till that point of time, I felt like there is more to learn, to figure out. So the learning was towards like, you know what, this education is not enough. I need to do masters. Oh, that is also not enough. I need to go and like look into all these TED talks. I have this crazy thing of like go into this internet, read everything, whatever you get, like start reading it, right? So the incompleteness was misinterpreted as there is this worldly knowledge and you need to know. Okay, it was not about the real nature. Rather, the avidya of this world, how things work. And it was in the wrong direction, I would say. And always the society keeps saying, hey, look at him, how successful he is, like how many degrees he has, right? Like how many patents he has, how many inventions he has, how many books he has written. Like I will be doing all this and say, oh, I have not written a book. Okay, so there you go. Like by the time you do this, and then the other guy says, you know what, he's saying like he's visited 4 or 5 countries. He was still sitting here, not doing anything good, doing the same thing again and again. Right? So the Avidya was like trying to figure out like, how do I do everything?
Nice. Anything else?
Yeah. No, still I continue to have fun. There is still this memory loss, or like I play the role so perfectly that I forget what I'm doing. And then like I think this Friday I was thinking that the Sunday morning session is one time where like I'm completely in bliss, and like there is no tension of who is going to say what, and like what they wrote in an email, and like how I have to deal with all this stuff, that stuff. And,
So
yeah.
that's why in Dakshinamurti, the symbol of apasmara is given. The Rakshasa apasmara. Apasmara is forgetfulness. And Dakshinamurti is simply stepping on the apasmara and above it. Is not is not killable. But it can be overcomeable.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like it's easy to do this when you are in a satsang. Like it's like the gates have been closed, security guard is standing there. They say like no to everyone. Versus going to this world, it's like you are in the middle of the market. Everyone comes to you selling like this, that, like, Sam, you take this. That's it. Like you will get this, that. And like, you keep saying no, and your friends is like, hey, this is the thing. You cannot say no. You have to try it. Right? That's how the world, the society is outside. Right? Even if I want to be like this, the guy comes and says, you are too soft. You are too liberal. You should become strict. You should use your power and tell. Right? So it, I'm sure, like, if not for the weekly refresh, uh, it's like this single shot of vaccine would have been like hit long back. The satsangs are like taking the vaccination regularly. They say, right? Every year you have to take the flu vaccine, like that. Every week you keep taking this vaccine. So, okay. I know what's going to come at me.
Very nice. Right. Thank you, Sarnanji.
Thank you.
Padmaji.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sananji, very nice example of what you said in Jnana Jyoti. It like completely summed up how we are. And so every Sunday you're Brahman. I remember that now.
Part-time Brahman.
Yeah, so coming back to the question, is Avidya known? It is not known. It is not known to us till there is a suffering where we begin to ask questions of who we truly are. When till that question arises within you, I think there is Avidya. Because once that questions come to you, you start looking for answers. And when you start looking for answers itself, I think the spiritual journey has started. And in due course, of course, you find your answers. The byproduct of this avidya is suffering because there is a wrong understanding of who we are. And there is constantly we are engaged in this raga and dvesha. And because of this wrong understanding, there is suffering, there is no clarity, and there is confusion all the time. And questions like, what am I doing? Is what I'm doing correct? Is it wrong? Is it benefiting me? Is it benefiting others? There is multiple questions arising at even after performing the actions. I think you are never totally satisfied that, okay, this is what should have been done. There is no, it's not sure, you are not sure whether this is what you were supposed to do. So there is a lot of confusion and suffering in the life because of this avidya. What is the solution to avidya? Jnana is the solution. Obviously, the jnana of who we truly are. So self-knowledge is the solution to that. However, just knowing it theoretically, like all of you have expressed, that is not sufficient. So constantly or continuing Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is what will help us establish in that jnana. So doing that continuously, it what establishes us in that. Of course, with all these sessions that we do and all with the scripture readings and listening to Guruji, there is a cleansing that has started within. So I think continuing that is more, you have to be consistent with whatever you do, because I feel that is the way the mind is, isn't it? Like with any habit of ours is a continuity of that same action again and again, repeatedly we have been doing, and that is how it has become a habit. So I think the same thing applies here also, that constant Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is essential to establish ourselves in that knowledge. So yes, sir. So that's all, sir.
And your viewpoint, Padmaji, specifically to, is avidya known?
No, sir, I didn't know it. I didn't know it till I went through all the ordeals of my physical suffering. I didn't know, because I was just doing multiple things. And like Saravananji said, how do you manage everything? That was the beginning point, I think, because you are so overwhelmed all the time, because there is one doership within you, right? You don't think that somebody else is doing through you. It is I am doing. So you are constantly struggling, because there are some infinite things to do, and you hardly accomplish maybe 5 or 10 in a day. So there is always a list that never gets completed. It is like it is going on, and then you think, in the beginning you think, okay, I think I will do the remaining 7 tomorrow. But when the tomorrow begins, there is not 7, there is 20 now in that list. And then now looking at the 20, you're not even able to do 7 now. You're doing just 3, because you're constantly thinking about the 20. Okay, when is this going to do? How did it become 20? You have that thought now. So there is a strong sense of doership, I think, which will not allow you to see okay, there is one divine behind all this. How can I even do all this? There is no question like that. It's okay, I have to do. Maybe if I push myself a little bit more, I'll accomplish this 7. That kind of thing. And it's driving you crazy, isn't it? It's driving you crazy, because you're not getting done anything. And you think you have to do it, but I am not doing. So it is giving rise to more lack within yourself. You don't feel accomplished at all. More than accomplished, it's like, okay, I am good for nothing. All these things are coming into you. All whatever is negative is building up. So confidence is going down. All these things happen, I feel. And
These part-time
cumulative
Brahmans
result.
are, yeah, guys. No, please complete.
No. And the cumulative effect of it comes into something very big, very big, where, okay, now the mind cannot do anything because it doesn't know what to do. So then it finally shuts up, I think. It's forcefully shuts up.
So these part-time Brahmans are bad for society. You all seem to come here and then talk about, I couldn't do that, I couldn't do this, very happily, gleefully. This is really bad for society. Is this the way to build a society? Part-time Brahman job is bad.
So after 9 o'clock, we have to roam with a board on our chest. Beware, beware of this. It's coming.
Allah, if part-time Brahman is making you so so okay with failure, full-time Brahman means what? This is not at all good for society. Very nice. Thank you, Padmaji.
No, like in general, it's basically as one grows up, that feeling of that limitedness hits so hard, and wanting to become unlimited in everything is like the society keeps, actually the society that way keeps hitting, saying like, you have to become unlimited. It is just that like the unlimitedness was towards the material cause, the thinking like, oh, is that unlimitedness, do I have to get everything? Was towards that, right? But actually, it's what we realize is in the other direction. You are already unlimited. It is just the feeling of limitedness is what troubles you so much, because that's not your nature.
So initially, when we hear that you are infinite, you are Brahman, you started the question, how can I be infinite? I am so small. But now there is a shift in that question also. I am like, okay, if I am Brahman, I want to see how that feels. How that infinite feels now, because I am not happy with this, whatever is limited here. So yeah, now it's not how I can be that. Okay, I am that. There's more acceptance towards that. But then how do you experience that? How do I know? I don't know. The right question is not, the question is not right, or I don't know if
No.
even if it's
The question can be framed as why the light bulb has not yet come up.
Yes.
Why is that, I say tongue and then tama or something comes up.
Yeah.
Correct.
So sir, related on that topic, just now when you said tongue, it also came to me like tongue. So there is, I was reading something where it says there are two types of mukti. One is a gradual one, and one is an instant one. I don't know I can't remember the words. One was, I think, krama mukti.
Krama mukti, yeah.
And the other one, I'm not sure what it was, but it's like an instantaneous, like sudden enlightenment.
Yeah.
And the one is very gradual. So like,
which one you want?
I have not had the tongue thing, so I am in the gradual.
No, you've been given two choices. Which one you want?
So you can just give a clarity.
You are living in the world of instant everything.
I don't want instant.
Ayo, but that's also on the menu. You could have chosen.
It's there. You just read it, and like the mind.
But
is
we know the consequence of instant, no? So we want gradual.
Oh. But
how many lifetimes, Subhaji?
Yeah, because mukti means, you're free from suffering. Instantly you could have been free from suffering.
See, that's also a play. Such a nice play. I will give you if you want right away.
Instant means no learning there. You will keep making the same mistake.
All right. Okay, yeah, let's look into that. It's a relevant question in the same context.
Yes, because otherwise we will not have so many sessions. Vijay is pressing that button every session. And if you say like, I don't want instant, okay, then like we will have.
Not only sir, right? Sir is pressing, Guruji is pressing, all the situations in the life are pressing. But still,
then like how Guruji says, no, we will all become jobless. See, now all of us are pressing somebody else's button. So whose button will we press? Before this, we used to press our wife's button, our children's button, boss's button, employee's button. Yeah. Now we go and press somebody called as a satsangi's button. So if there are no satsangis, where are the buttons to press?
Yeah.
So see, it's like a pirate game, right? So the pirate, they loot, and they're afraid of losing their loot. And what do? They go and hide it in a safe place. And now they're afraid. What if somebody else finds out? So now that the safe place is so far away that, they make some very cryptic map, and
Yes.
they break it into some 20 pieces. They distribute it in all the places, and some key they keep somewhere. Now, unfortunately, the ship they're traveling, they go away. They meet with an accident, and those 20
Gone.
pieces are lost, and now they're left with only one piece. Now the quest begins. Okay, so how do I? So, so if there was no that loss, there won't be that adventure of searching for the treasure, so
Yes.
so that's the other way of putting what Saravanji was saying. However, if I ask the question, is avidya known or unknown? Avidya as the root cause is unknown in the beginning, but the children of the seed are known very easily. That is what we all been talking about. So the children of that avidya, as a sense of incompleteness, as a stress, as all other derivatives. So fundamentally avidya, which causes a sense of incompleteness, a sense of lack, which in turn leads to various kinds of activities leading towards acquisition, and during the acquisition various kinds of stress, various kinds of insults, various kinds of wants and don't wants. So like that, it's like children, grandchildren, the whole family, right? So the whole family of the avidya as the parent, they start developing, which is the representation that we see as Dhritarashtra as avidya, and his children, all the 100 Kauravas. So 100 Kauravas, I am very well before the journey begins, right? Before the journey has begun, to understand who am I, or what we call a spiritual journey. The so-called I am just a person. As a person, I'm very well aware of all the 100 children of Dhritarashtra. What I did not know is, it is the Dhritarashtra who is the father. And it is by going to Dhritarashtra, by understanding what is the nature of Dhritarashtra, that I can overcome, was not known. So in that sense, avidya is both known and unknown. It is known not in the root cause form, but it is known in the symptoms form. I know I'm coughing, but I didn't know why I'm coughing. I know as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm trembling. I didn't know why I'm trembling. So like that, some kind of a symptom is there. So in that sense, the world and the suffering that I attribute to world is a indicator that a root cause is there. As long as the world can press a button in me, good. It means that something related to me deep within is still to be worked upon. So in that sense, this pirate, Brahman, who decided to become a part-time Brahman, because he started experiencing bliss, at some times. Mango bliss, coffee bliss, mother bliss, father bliss, whatever, right? He put all these markers. It's like how does a dog know its territory? It pees, it pees all around, and it knows, okay, this is my territory. So like that, Brahman left all these trailers, markers. But he was playing a part-time Brahman. And the part-time Brahman, whenever he would pick mango joy, he was happy. But then he also had left, okay, how to be a full-time Brahman. For that, suffering was there. If there was no suffering, then there was no job of becoming a full-time Brahman. So now this jobless fellow, being a full-time Brahman, created some job for him by creating all these problems. Now solving the problem became the full-time job of this part-time Brahman. And while solving, he started realizing, "Arey yaar, why is this suffering?" Oh, then somebody came and said, "Look, there is a position called as full-time Brahman." That is what I want. So a part-time Brahman wanted to be a full-time Brahman. So that is when the questioning deepened. That is when, okay, what is the root cause of this stress? What is the root cause of this sadness? What is the root cause of this so-called worry, tension? Okay, so the root cause is the father of these children called as Dhritarashtra, Avidya. Oh, Avidya. So the blind king. Now, what is he blind about? He is blind, but he's blind to so many things. What is he blind about? Is in itself a very important question to ask. See, it's very easy to, once when I come into the satsang, Sadguru asks the question, who are you? We give a lot of answers and he says, no, who you are is truly. And then he gives some explanation. So it is very easy to grasp at that point in time. Oh, that one. But to know that, not knowing that has been the cause of all other problems is in itself a wonderful realization. That a simple thing about who I am, now it's so simple, no? Ayo, che, I suffered all this. All the stories indicate ಅಂಗೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಊರೆಲ್ಲ ತುಪ್ಪ ಕುಡ್ಕಾಡಿದ್ರಂತೆ ಅಂತ. The butter has always been there, but I'm searching everywhere. All these stories, it now hit so easily. But back then, they did not make any sense. So like that, knowing the root cause is in itself the opening. So in that sense, Avidya is known, but not necessarily as a root cause. The root cause, the Dhritarashtrattva is not known, but the children of Dhritarashtra are known. And children of Dhritarashtra are the clues to come back to the father called Dhritarashtra, and then to realize that what is he blind about? What is he blind about? What is his true blindness about? What is my true blindness about? And once when that is identified, it has to be identified. My suffering is because of my own ignorance of who I am. And then once when that knowledge comes in, then the world becomes a gymnasium to stabilize that knowledge. So then the world will, this Brahman, this before he became a part-time Brahman, is a very clever fellow. He knows that, you can get caught up in many, still many gotchas. So, oh, I got the knowledge. Oh, I know who I am. I can quote shloka number 23. So that full-time Brahman knows the catches of the part-time Brahman. So to make sure that, the part-time Brahman truly can realize the full-time Brahman, so the full-time Brahman also created a gymnasium called world. And there he created somebody called wife, or somebody called husband, or somebody called children, or somebody called boss. So they will come and do what they need to do. Because full-time Brahman has given them the right role. You go and press this button in this part-time Brahman. So now, as soon as that button is pressed, the part-time Brahman, what comes out of the part-time Brahman? So as that what comes out of the part-time Brahman becomes clean, and when the button is pressed, but nothing comes out, it's like then it's like trying to make a clap with one hand. So when you cannot clap with one hand, then the full-time Brahman has no work to do. And then some other new game will be again. So it's like it's a continuous cycle. It's a continuous cycle. So that's why Dakshinamurti is shown to sit above the apasmara. So it is not killed, but it is overcome.
So he'll constantly be raising his head. You have to keep pressing it down.
So he'll raise his head, and you realize that you're above that, and be at peace. And when
So,
you
sir,
slightly move away from that, you again bring back the knowledge, and so it's like once when you make a sound, right? Sound doesn't vanish in a blip. Sound, has a frequency, right? So it kind of like waves. They slowly settle down.
And also, I also see that there is no wrong path, or every path finally leads to the destination. It's just that, how long you take a detour, you will take a longer route, but then you will again come, you will reach there only. There is no other way to go.
Correct. So see, you just now said the Bhagavad Gita. So now we should call you Saravana Vyasa Maharshi. Because Krishna said the same thing.
Oh.
Krishna said, all paths lead only to me. So now Sarvanji has realized the Vyasatva within him. Yeah, Padmaji, you were asking something.
Yeah, so my question for that two types was really, how can I was thinking, how can there be something which is immediate? Because up till in the frame of, I mean, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but in the frame of time and space, whenever there is liberation, it appears to be immediate, but is it not like everyone goes through it like step by step only? Then why they say that it is either krama mukti, which is gradual, or there is immediate in the types of mukti?
The simplest way to look at it, Padmaji, is when you snap out of the dream, do you ever wonder whether I was something else other than the one who was dreaming? So imagine, you're in your dream, you become a creature with some bird-like feathers and tiger-like tail and something else. So now that creature is running, and that creature is also trying to catch something, and this creature, there is some other creature is trying to catch this creature. So now you are running to catch something, and something is running to catch you. All that looks very real. So it all is happening in a time scale. And then suddenly you hear something, and then you open your eyes, and that was a dream, right? So now, did the dream really happen?
No, it didn't.
It didn't, but it appeared to happen. So then as soon as you snap out of the dream, would you say that, I am that creature? Would you keep on saying I'm that creature? You never say, because you have never been that creature. You never became that creature, right?
And you're not analyzing it also. That part also I get. Yeah.
Right.
You're not sitting and analyzing about that dream.
So it's an instantaneous wake up, right? In that sense, it's an instantaneous wake up. You open your eyes and then, that's a dream. That's all. Job done. There's nothing more, nothing less, right? In that instance, that's it. It just is over. So that's the realization, aha moment, right? So if you see it from that moment, it's that instantaneous, right? And then
correct.
And once when that clarity is there, I'm just a dreamer, then it doesn't really matter how long I've been dreaming. You will not ask. How long will I dream? You will not ask. Oh, it doesn't matter, right? So for the one who has woken up from the dream, this is it was never there. I was never anything else. However, when you want to look at it from the standpoint of the sadhana, when you want to look at it from the standpoint of the learning process, the spiritual learning process, the fundamental way to come out of ignorance in Vedanta is Adhyaropa Apavada.
Mm.
What is Adhyaropa Apavada? So it is like what is not there, it is assumed to be there, and that's why the suffering is there. Now, how does one remove what is not there? So by, that's why there's a classical example of what Prabhuji gives. There is a glass door, a very clear, crystalline, transparent glass door, and there is no mark on it, and everybody goes and keeps bumping their head, right?
Mm.
And as long as there is no mark, nobody sees, and so you keep bumping the head. So what anybody sensible will do, will either put some kind of a handle, which is of a different color, or will put a sticker saying that mind your head. Okay, mind your head. You're reading, mind your head. Tongue, you go blank. Oh, this is what they meant. Because you mind your head. I am always minding my head. What is there so special? But when you bump, then you realize, oh, this is what they mean. Mind your head. They should have said, you will bump your head. Maybe then I would have. Anyway, that's a separate thing. So like that, then they put some sticker, no? So when they put that some sticker, it is visible. The glass door is visible because of the sticker. Otherwise, the glass door is not visible. Yeah. So like that, Adhyaropapavada is, it is essentially, you and I are looking at the rope, but assuming it to be a snake. My God, there's a snake, there's a snake, there's a snake. And we tremble. So the question that you and I never ask is, was there ever really a snake? There was never really a snake.
Correct.
But the suffering or the fear was because of seeing the snake. So therefore, the teaching methodology is also first to acknowledge your suffering. Yeah, you're suffering, correct. Yo, pavam, oh, so sad. Oh, really sorry. Here, come here. Now, I understand your suffering. Your suffering is because you did not take this pill. You take this pill twice a day. And before taking the pill, you drink this milk and then only take. Okay. Will you remember? Yeah. Okay. So now do this. So how long I should do this? You do this for 43 days. So like that, some prescription has to be given, no? Otherwise, with a prescription, that Rogi will think that, what, if the doctor says, hey, there is never a disease, there is no disease, the Rogi will not believe. But but some Rogi, who has already gone through twice or thrice of this medicine, will think, hey, that last doctor also gave the same medicine. They also give you the same medicine. No. Open the medicine. What is in the medicine? Now the doctor thinks, here is the, a Rogi who has gone through some experience. He opens. Now the Rogi asks, tell me really, what is it? This is nothing but sugar pill. You've been giving me sugar pill and telling me this is a pill that is going to remove all my ills. Yeah, because there was no ill in the first place. It was you who believed that there was a ill. So what can I do? I had to give you a pill. Oh, so I don't need a pill. No, you don't need a pill. So what about the illness? Who has the illness? So like that, depending upon the Rogi, then, there is an evolution. So for the Rogi who has gone through the doctor twice or thrice, and has seen the futility of this also, okay, last doctor also said that it will all go away, but it did not go away. Again, I feel that pain and suffering. So tell me what I should really do. Then Vedanta comes and says, look, there was never really a ill. So that's why it's Vedanta, end of knowledge. So till then, like in Kannada, especially we say, cycle ಹೊಡೆದೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ಲು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡೆದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡೆದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ಹೊಡೆದೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅವರ್ ಮೈತ್ರಿಜಿ has made a beautiful poem, ಅಣ್ಣನ ಸೈಕಲ್. Okay. This Annana cycle is a wonderful cycle. One by one, no, in that poem, no, she removes all the parts of that cycle. Once she removes the pedal, then she removes the handle, then she removes that trin. So eventually there is no cycle at all. But as long as that cycle, that imaginary cycle is there, you have to keep pedaling. So in that sense, is there Krama Mukti? Yes, there is Krama Mukti. Because the one who is sitting on the cycle and then pedaling, for that are the rogi who seriously believes there is a pain. We've talked about that story, no? The fellow comes to a guru and says that I have been suffering. I have a terrible stomach ache. I have gone to so many doctors. Nobody has been able to solve. And they said, you are the only person who can solve. He says, what's happening? What's happening? There is a fly that has gone into my stomach. And no doctor has been able to remove it. And they have done all the X-rays, MRIs, ECG, BCG, XAG. Nobody has been able to find out. But I know. See, right now also, ayo, it is there. He screams. And the guru says, yeah, you come tomorrow morning and you come after doing all these things, so he gives something. And tomorrow morning when he comes, he makes him sleep. And he says, now, all these other people will be chanting. This is very serious chanting. It's most powerful chanting. Now there'll be a procedure. You have to keep your eyes closed. No matter what happens, you may hear some screams and so many things, but you should not open your eyes. Are you okay? Yes, okay. Then so many chantings begin and so many dun, 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 so many smells and something is happening. And then everybody saying, oh, such a big fly, such a big fly. And the guru says, yes, I'm catching it. Tack. And then he hears, that rogi, he hears ton, some sound. And everybody, whoa, this one. My God, poor fellow has been suffering for so long with this one. And then he says, yeah. And then the guru says, tak. Abba, guru, you killed. Very nice. Shall we ask him to open? Wait, some more chanting. And then, okay, now he says, now, okay, please slowly open. And then he opens and he asks, how do you feel? The rogi is, yeah, I feel somewhat different. And then the guru, look here, this is what was inside. And he looks at the plate, there was one big fly. Fella is now dead. Okay, so now he says, this was inside your stomach. And now the rogi looks at the stomach and says, yeah, really? That every 5 minutes I used to feel that going inside the stomach. There is no more there. And the guru says, okay, now you are solved. Now no more it will bother you. Go. So sometimes like that you have to remove an imaginary fly. So the process of removing the imaginary fly seems like a Krama Mukti. So, but seriously, what is happening is, as long as there is a feeling that I am something else, as long as there is a sense of separation. So Krama Mukti means what? There's a gradual process. So in a sense, human mind, when you look at it, it always goes through a gradual process of learning and unlearning. But for the one who realizes, see, for example, you all may remember that Helen Keller's movie, and she's struggling to teach about water because Helen Keller cannot hear, cannot see, okay, cannot speak, and this teacher is trying to teach her through touch. A particular touch represents water, so she wants to teach that. So she gives that touch and makes her go underwater. She gives that particular touch. See, for example, if let's say I say, if I tap twice like this, then this is water. How do you tell that to a person who cannot see, who cannot hear, who cannot speak? You are only able to tap and immediately hold that person underwater. But how does that person connect that this tapping and that water falling to, okay, this tapping means water. So there's a beautiful situation in that movie. So this teacher, no, Helen Keller's teacher, is struggling to teach her. She knows that, the moment Helen Keller grasps one of that touch to one of the word that she is making. So before making that word, she holds Helen Keller's hands to her mouth and says, water, water. And then she makes her go underwater. So she wants Helen Keller to connect that this sound that she's making to whatever she feels. Because look at the beauty of language. We take it for granted. We say you, me, that, this, and suddenly we have all that connection made in our mind. It all happens so magically that we don't even realize the value of it. And for Helen Keller, the teacher knows that she doesn't know the sounds and the things are connected. So she's struggling. There's one moment when she's saying, today, no matter what happens, you have to get it. And then suddenly, water, and then that, water and that. And then suddenly Helen Keller recognizes, and she makes a similar sound and she pumps water. She makes a similar sound and she pumps water. And she holds water. And she's looking for her teacher, water, water. So now, is it Krama Mukti or is it instantaneous Mukti? It is both. Depends upon from where you are seeing. So sometimes when you cannot answer, no, you put babies and you confuse the heck out of the question. So, Padmaji, and the question would be thinking, did I get the answer? Or
No, when you go in search of something and when you don't know how long it's going to take, and when it appears, it looks like sudden. Oh, right? Only when you know it looks like gradual, but otherwise, like you're doing suddenly it appears. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you could
I wasn't
say
expecting.
that moment it is immediate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
That moment it is immediate. However, if you take like a lifespan or something like that relative to time, then maybe you can say it is gradual.
it is only Krama Mukti. So therefore, same question comes in the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa also.
Yeah.
So Shravana Matrena. So it is said that it is listening alone that liberates you. So what it essentially means is, I am listening to Prabhuji and Prabhuji says, Tat Tattvam Asi, job done. Then no more suffering. But, many of us go back to Prabhuji. Prabhuji, when you say it is all look hunky-dory, but, you should come and be with my husband or be with my wife. Such a nasty fellow. No, all this is nonsense. Okay, all right. Why don't you do manana? Go back to what I said and be involved in some seva and do manana. So now, then Shravana Matrena is then untrue. So, so like that, it all really depends upon who we are talking about. So it is said that Ramana Maharshi did not have to do anything and he suddenly became enlightened. Then Sadhguru says, no, he had done a lot of work in the previous Janma. Oh, okay. So now who will accept that answer? Somebody who thinks that, there is some more work to do, some more peddling has to do. So therefore, again, it is not like, oh, I will just ignore that answer. No, it is very, karma is very much true for someone who is in the karma bandhana. So therefore, to come out of the karma bandhana, then seva has to be done. It is real. It is very real in that sense that it is experientially very real. The suffering is very real. You cannot deny that, there is no feeling of pain. Or, the mind, the way it feels, the emotional turbulences. You cannot deny all that. So therefore, it's a gradual process. The mind has to first become stable. So Sadguru Seva Satsanga helps the mind to become stable enough so that it can get into Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. And through a gradual practice, it starts getting established in the truth, where the 6 noble qualities, the Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Uparati, they start becoming more and more. And naturally, then the focus, okay, what has been the focus? Okay, suffering. How do I get rid of the suffering? Is by right jnana. And what is at the root cause of all this suffering is avidya. So that naturally brings. So all that is what is called as mumukshatva. I want to come out of suffering is one way of saying mumukshatva. I want moksha is another way of saying mumukshatva. I want out of this suffering is nothing but aliya alla magal ganda. Aliya means the son-in-law. One way of saying son-in-law is oh, my daughter's husband. So I want out of suffering. I want freedom. I want to feel complete. Or other ways of saying, I want moksha. But
How
moksha
seriously
from
you
what?
want?
Sorry?
How seriously you want?
How seriously you want? That is your, is it a part-time moksha that I want? Then there are part-time.
I also want to enjoy mango. It's a mango season. I don't want to miss on that.
A lot of part-time mokshas are available. Hey, mango is a part-time moksha. Coffee is a part-time moksha. Movie is a part-time moksha. And when all these part-time mokshas are not enough, then the full-time moksha is what is looked for. And the full-time, the one who gets into full-time moksha is also called as Mahabhogi. Then he seems to be enjoying mango moksha, coffee moksha, movie moksha. So he'll be enjoying. Then he'll also enjoy. Then people say, oh, he is enjoying. But he also enjoys somebody dying moksha, his body going into some disease moksha. Because he's, the left side of that is doesn't matter to him. Right side, whatever the left side is. What is that left side? Coffee moksha, mango moksha, disease moksha, death moksha. So all that left side is okay for him because the right side is constant for him. All right. Shailaja ji, Megha ji, Deepa ji, Shubha ji, anything?
Sir, actually, I had this question from long time, sir. Only very few are interested in learning all these things. But if the other way around, if we take Dhritarashtra, why didn't he become Arjuna, sir? If that was the case, then this sufferings would have not been there for Arjuna, no, sir.
What a wonderful world now it would have been. Krishna, the God incarnate, he could just say tang and tamang, everybody is enlightened. No work for me to do. I said, I am enlightened. Why? Because Krishna blessed me. So it's there is no game, no, Shailaja ji. So in that sense, that's why ultimately it is you who has created the idea that I'm suffering. And you have attributed it to the world as the cause of the suffering. And therefore, ultimately, it is you who realizes that I am the one who's suffering. And ultimately, it is you who realizes that I and the world are not two. And when you realize, is there anyone else who's suffering? So somebody asked Buddha, how is the world? Oh, world is bliss. World is freedom. For Buddha, that is the reality. There is no suffering. But then somebody asked him, come on, how can you say this? Look at this war, greed, hunger, fighting. So it all depends upon viewpoint. It all depends upon What am I seeing? From where am I seeing? As who I think I am, I'm seeing. So from the
Answer
bottom
for the 11th question.
huh?
Sir is saying the answer for the 11th.
Huh. So from the bottom of the mountain looks tall. My God, so tall. It is almost like, I looked so tiny from the bottom of the mountain. As I'm halfway in the mountain looks conquerable. As I'm at the top of the mountain, in one sense, I am above the mountain. From up in the sky, when I'm flying and look at the mountain is another tiny, teeny bit, like any other tiny, teeny bit. So it all depends upon from where I am seeing. Is the jalebi answer clear, Shailajaji?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else, Shailajaji?
For now, only this was the question I had, sir.
So it
I'll come up.
ultimately depends upon me.
Ah,
And from where I am seeing, what is my realization? Is the world ignorant? That is the question you are essentially asking.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Is the world ignorant? Therefore, I should ask the question, where is ignorance? Who is making that statement? Is the world ignorant? I am the one who's looking at the world. I am the one who's interpreting the world. So then, ignorance cannot be in the world. It must be in me.
Within. Yes.
And who is that me who's saying the world is ignorant? Who is that me? I have to find out.
Correct.
Similar to in the market, infinite things are sold. That cannot affect me until I get attracted and go and buy something.
Yeah, because the part-time Brahman in you, as the full-time Brahman in you, created all these attractions for the part-time.
All these things.
But you are
Yesterday,
the one who's created.
That's exactly. As long as I want to have fun,
This can be our nice theme for one of the drama. Full-time Brahman, part-time Brahman.
I do see this thing common where known suffering is okay, then like unknown, though that unknown can give extreme bliss. But known suffering, no, let me just continue with this. I know that it's suffering, let me just continue with this. Until that becomes like intolerable. Okay. No. Until then, like, no, it's okay. And I have to suffer, so let me continue with this. That
known devil is better than the unknown angel.
Unknown angel. Right? That boldness to say that, you know what? No, I want to see. It's okay. I want to jump and see.
Yeah. Deepaji, anything else you would like to add?
Sir, if you have the poem, please send it, sir.
Yeah, I will have to get it from our Maitreyi. I would like to get it in our own voice. That way you can also listen to it. I will request her.
Yes.
But Deepaji, it's a pointer. Don't get interested in the pointer. This is the problem. When Vijay says something, that book is good, and like we go after that book.
Nice. Okay. Shubhaji, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay.
You already touched upon the 10th question and 11th question. You leaked the answers.
Shivaji, still, you don't want that instant.
Yeah, I got the answer. It
No,
is both instant
I
and
gave a wrong clue. So like that, like that, you still leave some mystery in the story.
yeah.
No, but actually, in reality, the answer is unknowable.
Yes.
The reality is unknowable.
Hmm.
So the
And
mystery.
the answer is different for each person, no, sir?
So the mystery can never be solved. That's why it's an infinite, wonderful creation that continues.
Yeah, this is yeah. See, I was also telling this. I'm just taking some more time, Vijay. When I was trying to build this prakriya, I was just running it through my parents, and I was telling them, the creator's intelligence will always there in a creation. You cannot remove the creator's intelligence in a creation. Right? And when I apply this to a human, let's say there are 3 different artists. Okay, the artist A has art which looks okay. Artist B which looks better than artist A. Artist C which is the best. Right? And so the more intelligent or the more talented the artist is, the creation is that exceptional. Right? And now that artist happens to be the most powerful Brahman, and his creation is the world. Can there be flaws? And if you are finding flaws, who can find a flaw? You need to have a qualification to find a flaw. Right? Yeah. A guy who is not a literate, who has not passed high school, or who has failed in class 10, can he go and find fault in a work done by the exceptional artist? Right? So that's how the world is, right? Which has come from the most powerful exceptional artist called Brahman. And I'm finding flaws in this world, saying every day. So with that I, meaning who is that I, right? So we need to go and figure out, like, who is this I who is finding fault? Is that I qualified enough to even comment?
Yeah. Very nice. So, if you all are okay, again, only if your time permits, I would like to show you one short video. It's probably
Movie
about
time.
huh?
Movie time.
Movie time. So this is motivational speech.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Is that okay with everybody? Is time okay for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
If
So
there is
please
something,
share your view on what is disability, Deepaji.
sir, if you have got some problem and we are not able to accept it, then we are not we cannot go ahead with solving it. Rather, we would be just dwelling in that, thinking that why has this happened to me. So it's like putting a full stop there. But instead, if we are going to think about what can I do for this now, then we are actually moving towards the solution and trying to solve that problem.
Very nice. So what you are saying
So,
is getting stuck in problem is disability.
yeah.
Wonderful. Anything else?
No, sir.
Shailajaji, what is your view? What's disability?
So it need not be physical disability. It can be mental as well, I think, sir. Putting barricades ourselves, that is one way of, I think it is a disability. And even many a times I have observed many people going ahead beyond their stretching themselves. That point of time, I have questioned myself why I can't do this, why they are able to do that kind of questions. I had. Answer is within me. I think I have to push myself, motivate. That's what I felt. But this question, many a times it raised within me, sir.
Very nice. So your 2 point is disability is the limitation I only put on myself.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Very nice. Shubhaji, what is your view?
Yeah, for me, I feel disability is just a thought and it's a mental block. I remember the video which you showed me about a child. The child didn't have two hands and she was eating from a bowl. She was rather drinking a soup or something from a bowl with a spoon. So that child never had that thought in her mind that she had the disability. So that way, with that example, I feel it is just a thought. So it is what as with the what we call it, over a period of time we keep thinking that this is a disability. That is when it becomes a disability, whereas it is not a disability in the first place. It's a thought, I feel.
It's simply a thought.
Yeah.
Very, thank you. Padmaji, your view?
Sir,
Sir, I feel, sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Deepaji.
sir, if a child is born like that, like Shubhaji said, if the parents or anybody who lives with the child doesn't speak about that, I mean, that the child is disabled and all in front of the child, then I think the child will not put the limitation to itself, isn't it, sir?
Absolutely.
Then it will think of doing what it can do.
Correct. See, until somebody started repetitively telling, you are a girl, you are a girl, you are not supposed to be like this, you simply were living the life like anybody else.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Padmaji?
Yeah, so, sir, I think disability is what we cannot do based on the perception of what we think is ability. Yeah, because anything, any ability that we contribute to anyone is a perception, is a thing that has been, we have a conditioning, isn't it, about ability itself. That's why when we are not able to do that, we consider it as a disability. And I think that's why I think everyone put it in different way. Like when we think of disability, mostly the perception is to the physical aspect of anyone, isn't it? That they don't have hands or legs, or maybe in one of the senses are missing, something like that. But like Shailaja ji said, it doesn't have to be just physical, which is visible to everyone. There are so many mental disabilities. So in that sense, I feel the perception of ability, opposing that, whatever is not there is considered to be as a disability, I feel.
Very nice. Sarvanji, your view?
Yeah, I think mostly covered. Yeah, the disability usually seen in the physical side. What I can see is like it is a disability only if that person accepts it and does not want to do anything with it. All these great inspirational people, they have basically, they have not taken it as a disability and like didn't do anything. They just moved on and like and showing as an example to those people who think they are fully abled, but like not using that full potential, full body, full what you have. Right? It's not about not having. Even when you have and don't use it, that is also you are like you are acting in a disabled way. That's a much bigger problem to have. And on top of it, crying.
Very nice. Very nice. So, so now with this kind of churning, no, let's go and look at Preeti Srinivasan's video. So you saw, how
Recent that Padma Shri Awards, no, there was that Shri, that Bopanna, who is in Paralympic sports. He got the Padma Shri.
yeah,
He doesn't have the hands and he is
Yeah.
amputated below the knee.
yeah,
But when he came there, I just saw the face said a completely different story of what we could see physically in him, you know,
Yeah.
that transcended so many things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And the child who scored 93% this year in CBSE 12, just 2 years back, that child had a brain hemorrhage and it had completely destroyed half of its learning abilities. But he overcame that, and this year he scored 93%, which is a commendable achievement by that child.
I think this year there are 2 children like that, Shobha. I think you are referring to the CBSE. There is also
Yeah,
one
yeah.
girl ICSC who
Yes,
is also
yes. Yes.
similar,
Yeah,
98
yeah.
or something. She also had something like this
Yeah,
going
yeah.
with her.
True, true.
Yeah.
So the power of Brahman behind this body mind is so huge. The body cannot limit. Right?
Yeah. So now let's listen to Preeti.
This is the story of a blessed child who was born 9 long years after her parents' marriage. They had performed much penance and desperately prayed for her to be conceived. When she did come, they embraced her as a gift from the divine and showered her with unconditional love and care. When she was just 3, her father took her through the swimming pool for the first time and dropped her right into the deep. But even as her mother watched in panic, up she came, totally fearlessly, grinning gleefully at the new experience, automatically responding to her parents' efforts to give her the best of everything. She flourished and effortlessly excelled. By the age of 8, she became a state champion in swimming, as well as the youngest member of the Tamil Nadu senior women's cricket team, a record that still stands. She also captained the Tamil Nadu under-19 girls cricket team to its only national level victory in any tournament so far. This is a record that also still stands. Her father's job requirements saw them move almost every year. And during the 12 years of school, she attended 9 different schools in 3 different continents. Completing her schooling in Pennsylvania with highest honors, she found a place in the who's who amongst America's students, an award.
Okay. What would you like to share?
I feel she's the most abled person that we have seen.
Very nice.
She touched upon all the topics which we discuss quite often here. I'm not the doer, and we should always have gratitude towards everything and be here right now, right here. and it's okay to ask for help and always give back.
Wow. Very nice, Shubhaji.
She's practically living the I am not this body example of total surrender. And we think that like who will take care, what will happen? A lot more than what you think can happen is happening. The mind can think only little. Surrender opens up to a world of infinite possibilities. Anyway, yeah, it's the same display of that power to show the mind. It's again everything I feel is going lesson to the mind to break the hard walls set. I'm this, is it? I'm this identity. That's it. I cannot do this. Right?
Wonderful. Shailaja ji?
So, yeah, many questions arised again, sir, within me after watching this.
Okay.
It's a very inspirational thing, and even I feel like I was even sitting along with Namit and watching this, and I was telling him, in future you have to help such people, and we have to do something for this organization. I felt, sir.
Very nice.
That's all I have.
Deepa ji?
I feel a little scared to watch those videos, sir. So I don't go through them. But today I watched it, and it's inspirational and very much encouraging, sir. It was good to watch, sir.
Wonderful. All right. So is there anything else anybody wants to ask or say before we conclude?
I think so. Just that I think more than compassion, kindness is something that is of so much value. Because I feel when one is kind, they don't pity anyone. Right?
True. What we need is to share, no
Yeah.
need pity.
Yes.
Thank you, Padma ji.